Okay, we had a question on the forum. How many plugins is too many plugins?
Let's give you a two-part answer. The first answer is one plugin is too many if it's badly coded, because it can cause trouble on the site. It can slow down the site, or it may be insecure. Those are the two biggest problems with plugins. Either that they leave a security hole, or that they just slow down the performance of the site. And one plugin can do that. Now, the other answer I would give you is a personal rule of thumb. I really don't like using more than 20 plugins on a site. And the reason I don't like that is because if you've got, say, 20 plugins, almost every time you log in, one of them needs to be updated. So you've got a lot of updating to do, depending on where you got them from, of course. And then the second thing is, every time you add a plugin, that increases the odds of either there being a security hole or there being something that impacts the performance of the site. So if you can avoid using a plugin, I generally try to avoid using a plugin. I try and add as few in as possible. Plugins are the best part of WordPress, and they add really important functionality, so it is important to have them. But I try and add as few as possible, and keep it tight, so that the site has. If I've got a site and I've got 6 plugins that I absolutely require, then I don't start adding in plugins for things like social bookmarks and all that kind of stuff when I don't need to. If I know there's another way to do that, for example, it might be a case that you can just add 2 or 3 lines of code to your theme file, to your functions.php file, which we'll look at in another video. But it could be that you could just add in 1 or 2 lines of code here or there, which would replace an entire plugin, which could be 1,000 lines of code. So what you're doing is, if you can avoid using a plugin, I tend to try and avoid it. Depends on how many you have in total. But again, one bad plugin can impact a site in terms of performance and slow the whole thing down.
Is it a more fundamental question as well, where you should ask, does my site really benefit from this functionality?
Yeah, the thing is, because I promote plugins, and I say, plugins are really good for WordPress because they're what add so much. I mean, they're the huge benefit of using WordPress.
Because we're going to be concentrating them a lot more now. Going
but
forward.
What I'd say is just be wary of going overboard with that, and just like I said, personally, I try and keep it to about 10, 12. There's a few that I always install, like a backup plugin and an SEO plugin. I use Yoast SEO plugin now, rather than All-in-One SEO, which I used to use previously. But there are those kind of basic plugins, and then there's another one, subscribe to comments, which allows somebody, if they leave a comment, to have emailed any replies that they get to that comment emailed onto them. And there's a few other basic plugins that I like to use, but I really try and keep it down to a handful when possible.